Hello, awesome healers. So, today I'm going to share with you some ideas about social media marketing. And one of the reasons is that not every a platform is right for you. So, you have to figure out who it is that you're looking for. So, stay tuned to hear more. This is Anastasia. I used to be a physics professor specializing in vibrational and quantum physics. After recovering from a serious illness using energy healing on myself, the calling to heal became so strong that I had to quit my 40-year research career. I replaced my six-figure professor's salary within 5 months using a simple but not easy three-step system that I worked out to grow my healing practice. Now I help other healers grow their practices, whether they're just starting or already have a practice, with this same three-step system. I'm all about helping you too. Listen in to learn more. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. And today I'm going to share with you all about social media. And so some of the social media have been around a long time, and some of them came and went and aren't as popular as they used to be. And some of them have grown in popularity, and some of them are now like flaring up like crazy. So, the whole idea behind social media marketing is to share ideas and posts with people that will then attract them and get them to follow you and eventually become part of your email list, let's say, and and then eventually buy from you. And the other thing is that social media all has the ability to set up ads for you to attract buyers quickly. So you pay to play, in other words. So I'm going to go through ones that I have good experience with, and then some others that I'll just share some of the demographics and the reasons why I don't use them regularly. So, first of all, I want you to understand about YouTube. YouTube is not social media. YouTube is a search engine just like Google. So, if you want to, for example, figure out how to replace the memory in your computer, and your computer is an old HP model and your memory got shot, or you something got shot inside, you would just then type in how to replace uh, the memory card on my old HP, whatever the model is, computer, and it will show you a video on how to do that, right? And I use YouTube a lot for that. For example, if I want to know, if I want to know how to set up a particular kind of post in a WordPress, let's say I use a particular theme and I want to figure out how to set something up in that particular theme or how to modify the theme, I go to YouTube and figure it out. So YouTube is not really for interacting with others, which is social media. And your goal on YouTube, of course, is to get as many followers as possible that will then watch your videos and help promote your videos up in the search results so people can find you and listen to you and then eventually buy. And this is one of the places where a lot of people find me, is because I have a lot of YouTube videos that's distributing free content, just like this one, for example. And the social media sites are completely different. There is a place where you can interact with others, that you can have conversations. For example, on LinkedIn, I invite people onto my interview podcast, which is Scientific Healing, rather than Healers U, which is where this one is appearing. And that's where I put my interviews with people, and I just had one with a colleague of mine, and So you'll be able to go and watch Araceli on that, talk about her spiritual practice and her real estate business, for example. Right? Um, so that's, and on my all of my social media, I will put advertisements. Like I'll put up an image of her and a little quote from her and direct you to go listen to her or watch her, for example. So that is one way to do it. Another way to do it is to interact with people. So I'll go on to different places, and if I have conversations with people, and I'll invite them onto my podcast. And that is way I've gotten some of my podcast guests. Like one of them I found on Pinterest, another few on LinkedIn, and so on. So, social media is really how to be social with one another without having to meet people in person. Another thing that I do with social media is as soon as I meet somebody at an event and they give me their card, I go on to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and I'll follow them, I'll friend them, and I'll connect with them, for example. So, the different social media, so social media is a way to interact, right? And what's great about social media is that you can have conversations, and on some of them you can even do live conversations. In other words, Facebook allows you to connect via something like FaceTime video, and there is a way to do that really nicely, right? So the top sites for healers to advertise are Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, not so much, but a little bit, Instagram, and Pinterest, right? So in all of those, they have a different demographic. For example, and I'll even mention TikTok here because TikTok is relatively new compared to Facebook, which is relatively old, for example. TikTok is a young demographic, and it has apparently about 1.2 billion users worldwide, and only a very small fraction of them are from the US, right? So 138 million according to the last poll I saw. And about 40% of them fall between the ages of 16 and 24. So if that's who you're marketing to, you'll find them there. And only about 3% are over the age of 55, right? And so for me, I'm looking for people between the ages of 40 and 60. So it's not going to have even though I have a lot of younger students, most of them will fall over the age of 40. They'll start looking for ways to answer their calling to become a healer. So TikTok would not be a very good place for me. The only aside I'd want to put there is that a lot of healers are putting their content out there. And the thing that's great about it is that their short videos will appear in searches in YouTube. So people can find your TikTok videos on YouTube depending on what it is you're searching for. And people like the medical medium will put his videos on there, and apparently he just enjoys doing that. He'll show you how to make different things that are healthy for you, for example, right? So there is a purpose to it, and it takes short videos. So let's talk about all the others. So Facebook is a really great way to interact with others in a social way, but a lot of healers and a lot of people like Dr. Joe Dispenza have groups on there that will collect people that are interested in that sort of thing, and they interact with one another. So that's a really great place to do that. Being an extreme introvert, it's kind of like almost totally against my grain to do that, but I do go out into my group and I do lives on the group. So for example, this will appear live in my Facebook page. And so Facebook is really great. It also has an incredible ad engine. So if you want to put ads out, you can increase like the number of followers you have in your Facebook fan page by putting out like some ads. And when they click on it, they become members of your page. So LinkedIn is mainly business to business, right? So for me, that's why it's great to find podcast guests there, because I can put in who it is I'm looking for, interact with them, and if I find what it is they have to offer, I invite them onto my podcast. And I haven't been as active as before, because I used to have once a week a new guest. I haven't been active as before, but I'm getting that way again. So if you're listening to this and you want to be a podcast guest, you just go to scientifichealingradio.com and you click on the link that says Be My Guest and go in there and answer the questions, and it'll tell you all about how to get on there. Okay, so then Twitter is all about the latest trends that you see going. So if there's a TV show on, like any kind of America's Got Talent or The Voice or something that's really popular that people are watching right now, or any trending news, people will put hashtags on that will then allow them to interact with one another about the particular current event topic. So this is more about current events, but the nice thing is that a lot of people are on there. A lot of people then will interact with you if you send them a message through their Twitter account, right? So this is a way to do that. But I haven't found, for me, just I'm saying, for me, I've advertised a lot of my podcasts on there, and I haven't found that it has, and I've taken the advice of all these different experts, and I haven't found it to be nearly as effective as other places, right? Instagram is completely visual, right? So you put visual stuff on, you'll put some information down there, you'll put a few hashtags in there, and it allows you like one link in your bio. And it appeals more to younger people, but what's on Instagram are people that are bodybuilders, are people that are trying to improve their lives, but there are also a number of personalities on there. Like you'll find people that are famous for being famous on there, or that are famous business people that have a lot of followers, and they'll appear on Instagram with all their pictures. And there are a lot of people on Instagram. And I have actually found clients on Instagram that have come through there. I have had a couple of people that have come through and done programs with me from Instagram. My old Instagram profile got shut down. Even though I was taking quotes out of my book, they said I was taking information from somebody else, and that's just simply not true. I create all of my own content, and I give credit where credit is due. Okay, so here, Pinterest. Pinterest is really interesting. I haven't cracked the code on it yet, but Pinterest, the demographics for Pinterest is that it has a large population over the age of 40 that likes to go through Pinterest. You'll see makeup application, you'll see healthy foods, you'll see all kinds of things like that. But what Pinterest really is because it's even shaped like a door, is if you have an interesting post and you put a quote on there and you put the link to the post below, so every single image has a link, right? It'll take you to the link and a short description. And it's kind of like a door to your blog or your podcast. So you put like an image of it there and you put a few hashtags on it, and people will find you and follow you on Pinterest. And so Pinterest is really interesting for healers, right? And so I think I've covered all of them. So I've covered Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. So you can see each of them has a slightly different purpose, and each of them allows you to interact with people, because there are ways that you can text back and forth with people within each of the apps. And the last thing I want to remind you about social media is that just because you have a lot of followers somewhere, as I mentioned before, my Instagram profile got shut down. I could have fought to open it up, but it was the wrong kind of followers. So now I am just allowing my channel to grow organically. So the thing is that that was a caution that your social media profile, even if you have a lot of followers and you gain a lot of business through it, it is not your property. Your property would be your website, right? It would be your email list. That's your most important property. And that's where no one, if they shut you down, you still have a way to communicate with people. So I know a lot of people have gone into Facebook jail, for example, like they can't post for so many days. Sometimes ads are refused or shut down. Profiles have been shut down if you violate their terms of service, right? And it can be anywhere. It can be in Twitter. For me, it was Instagram. It could be in Facebook, and it could be anywhere. They can shut you down. And another thing is, just so you know, because Google owns YouTube, if you put copyrighted music, for example, in your video, then they will shut your video down, right? So you have to be careful. You have to check all usage rights. So just as a few hints, you can look up public domain music, and you can also go on YouTube and find music that you can use to replace the music. And one of these examples is that my husband likes to ride his motorcycle, and he takes a video of where he's going. And other motorcycle riders find this really fascinating. And when he's driving on his motorcycle, he listens to different music. So he has to be careful that the music that he's listening to, which is very often copyrighted, is okay to use on his YouTube videos. So he'll post a YouTube video, and then he'll find that they'll shut him down. So he'll replace some of the music with public domain music, right? So you have to be really careful on usage rights of music, of images, and video clips, because you will get shut down for those things. So I hope this was helpful for you to know where to interact. So go online and say who does, and put your social media thing, serve, and you'll find all the demographics. And if those are the correct demographics, you can then investigate further on how to use those particular social media platforms. So thank you for listening this time, and next time I'll talk more about how to post on there with free and low-cost tools to make it easy for you to interact with others. Okay, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for taking valuable time out of your day to listen in. If you found this message helpful, please help spread the word by giving the broadcast a thumbs up or a 5-star rating. Share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to my channel with your notifications on. For further training on healing and growing your healing business using my 3-step system, go to www.highpaidhealers.com. And I'll see you in the next video.